Okay, so we're going to review rectangles and squares and finding the perimeter and area of them by remembering the definition for each. Perimeter is the distance around the outside of the shape, while area are the square units covering the surface. The formula for perimeter is to multiply 2 times the length and add it to 2 times the width. Take a moment to fill out your graphic organizer on your handout. Remember to pause. Let's start by finding both the perimeter and the area of this rectangle. Using your formulas, pause the video and find both, but remember, we're doing two things here. We're finding both the area and perimeter, and we're using our algebraic formula and substitution while showing our work for that. Okay, go ahead and pause. Okay, check over your perimeter. Multiplying 2 times the length is 2 times 10 2/10 plus 2 times 3. Now when you're adding them together, common mistake is to forget to line up the decimals. So think of it as $20.40 if that helps, and that you're adding that to $6. That might help us remember that we need to line up our decimals when adding. So we would get 26 4/10 meters. Perimeter is plane. P for perimeter, P for plane. It's a plane, meters. Now check your area. You multiply 10 2/10 times 3 for 30 6/10. There was one number behind the decimal right here, so you would make sure there's one number behind the decimal in your answer. Again, remembering that you're using the formulas for perimeter and area and showing the work algebraically. So you're writing it horizontally and using substitution to plug in the length and the width. Pause the video and find the perimeter and area. Okay, check over how you did. Multiplying 2 times the width and 2 times the length, and then adding them together to get perimeter. Remember that your unit of meters is just plane. Now for area, you're multiplying the length times the width to get 19 32/100. And here it's important to remember that your unit of meters is going to be squared. After all, area is counting all the square units covering that surface. Find the perimeter and area of this square. Pause the video. So for perimeter, since all 4 sides are the same, we could actually just take 4 times, we could actually just take 4 times the side. 4 times 5 2/10 to get 20 8/10 units for perimeter. Now area, you're multiplying side times side. That's the same as 5 2/10 squared. Multiplying, you get 27 4/100 units squared. Don't forget your little squaring there for your label. Okay, last one on your handout. Find the perimeter and the area of this rectangle. Again, you're really getting good at writing this algebraically, so write the formula out horizontally and substitute in the length and the width. Remember to pause. Okay, check over your progress. 2 times 8 for the length plus 2 times 1 7/10 for the width. When you add them together, be careful to line up your decimals, and sometimes it helps again to think of money. 16 is like $16, and 3.4 is like $3.40. So when you add them up, you get $19.40, or 19 4/10 meters. That's the perimeter, the distance around the outside of the shape. Now for area, you're multiplying 1.7 times 8, 13 and 6/10 meters squared. It's important to square the unit because we are, after all, counting all the little square units covering the surface of our rectangle. A common mistake is confusing the two formulas with each other. So take a moment to think about how you personally are going to keep them straight. How can you remember the difference from perimeter to area?